Welcome, everyone, to the Sickos Committee podcast. This is our podcast for the evening of July 5th, 2023. So how many collective social media sites are we all on now?
So many.
Too many.
We got Threads, Blue Sky. The Skeets thing has weirded me out on Blue Sky a lot.
Yeah.
Skeets and re-skeets.
Oh, skeet.
Right,
No.
that's all I got. To the
dang.
windows.
To the wall.
Yeah, that's all I got.
See, this
To the
is
skeets
why,
drop off. No, I'm sorry.
this is why Blue Sky is the rightful Twitter successor, because you need some sort of weird thing like that. Also, I've been on Threads for all of half an hour with a hastily created Instagram under PittGirl and not my legal name.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's already recommending the furniture company and people who work for the furniture company
Yep.
to me.
oh.
Absolutely fucking not.
I texted my wife and went, because she's on Instagram more than I am. And I go, does Instagram really just show you random shit from people you don't follow? And she goes,
Yup.
yeah. And it doesn't put it in any sort of like chronological order? No.
Nope.
How is this useful? What the
It's
fuck is
not.
this?
It's not.
See, here's the problem, because I feel like we're at a moment of real problem here, PittGirl. Because I know that we acknowledge that linear time was a mistake, but it wasn't this much of a mistake.
No, yeah, this is worse. And it's not even nonlinear in the way that TikTok is.
No,
Where-
it has come unstuck in fucking time.
Yeah.
But this
and
is wibbly wobbly timey wimey shit.
and like TikTok is unstuck in time too, but the difference is like there is a like these are only the people you follow tab on TikTok. I don't think anyone uses it, but it does exist and you can use it. Threads has none of that.
Can you imagine what Threads is going to look like on a college football Saturday?
Oh, I'm excited for that.
Like, our live events hollering channel is unintelligible wonder most of the time, but it's not going to hold a candle to what Threads is about to be.
Or when
Threads
you
is
get
going to be like, here's a weird punt from 5 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
Safety
That's what I'm
alert.
excited about.
Safety
Yeah.
alert 3 days ago.
it will be like all the ads that we get.
So basically, that's what it is. Threads we're going to become the promoted ads of Threads.
Hey, DraftKings follows us over there now.
They do? Okay.
Right.
Oh my
Hey,
god.
DraftKings, holler at us.
What are we?
Holler.
Hey, you know what we are? We are the
Right. As
college
you-
football's
as you
number
said-
one sports betting podcast.
As you said earlier, we're for sale. They heard you. They
This
heard
is
you.
true.
They heard you. Maybe Lebertard will reach out. Come on, let's
Hey, that
hire
one,
us full time. Let's go.
absolutely.
Sickos Committee Roadshow. Doing it.
Commish, well, first off, hello everyone. My name is Jordan.
Do
There
the
is-
introductions. There
There's
you
a
go.
commissioner here. There is PittGirl. There's a Beth. There's a Beth who is alone in her house,
It's so quiet.
and it's wonderful
It's
and
so
beautiful.
quiet. You watch. This will be the podcast where, like, the cat discovers I'm eating pizza and chaos ensues.
Now that we're past introductions, because every podcast is someone's first podcast. I need to remember that.
Yes.
I listen to our podcast, and sometimes I forget that we can get a little insular. It's a little bit. It's fine. We're good. That's why.
It's definitely not a thing we'll be getting worse at.
Well,
Oh, no.
it's okay. I'm gonna declare that when the season starts, or when we start doing previews for real, we're calling that season 2. I'm just gonna do a
Oh.
hard cut there, and that's basically just might as well be brand new.
Okay. Are we going to do like a Doctor Who where we all like regenerate?
Yeah, no, I'm going to be played by someone much more attractive next season.
We can just all switch.
Oh, that would be funny.
Hi,
I'm
Commissioner
Beth.
PittGirl. Go Pitt Panthers.
Hail to
Okay.
Pitt.
Hail,
Hail to Pitt. Hail to Pitt.
Hail to Pitt? No.
Commish, I need you to talk to me about kinetic sand real fast, because I've heard
Oh.
you've had a day.
Jesus Christ.
Have
man.
y'all heard of the kinetic sand? Is this something y'all have heard of?
Have you heard of it? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
So kinetic sand that purports that there is such a thing as potential sand.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
potential for it.
They also call this. I think it's called hydrophobic sand.
But
Is
it's
it-
the sand that sticks together.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't.
Mhm.
It doesn't like collect water. In
Oh,
no.
friendship sand.
There we go. Yes. Yeah. And how friendly are you with that, Commish?
Okay, so, all right. I'm going to try not to have a mental breakdown right now. Dad-wise.
I mean, it's better for content, so go for it.
Okay, we'll go right ahead because I'm going to lose it at some point.
This is we are podcasting through it.
Okay, we're doing it. This is, guys will start a podcast instead of going to therapy.
Oh, I went to therapy today. I already went to therapy today, so this is I'm good. I have emotional space to help you.
I didn't have time for that today. So basically, we have the 4th of July, which was fun, festivities, everybody did that. But hey, guess what? I got to go to work the next day. So I am stuck at home with my 6-year-old and myself. And I have a lot due today. There's just a tremendous amount of due, way more work due than normally because thank you, holiday. And thank you to a certain state where P.D. Pablo made famous with a song. So just thank you to them. They will remain nameless, but take your shirt off, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I really can't pay attention to my 6-year-old too much. So I can't get up. I'm working at home, 6-year-old, other room, not good, right? Just a recipe for disaster coming up. And of course, disaster strikes about lunchtime. All of a sudden, it's just quiet. I get up and I'm like, are you hungry? What's going on? Turn around. The entire living room, den, wherever you call it, dining room, the space with the TV, whatever, the big TV where everybody gathers, that room, whatever you call it. There's kinetic sand everywhere.
Love it.
And I mean everywhere. It's on like the TV cabinet. It's on the floor. It's on his play tables. It's in the baby's playpen. It's all, there's spots that I'll tell you later that I found out when I didn't realize it was there too. But I found out later. Yes, there was more. So I'm faced with a decision like, hey, I have a lot of work to do.
Your day has just taken a left turn.
Do I just power through lunch, try to finish the day, and then clean up the kinetic sand? So I'm like, oh, okay, I have no choice. Like I am bound by these crazy regulatory agencies, and I have to get these things in by the end of the day. I sweep up a portion of the kinetic sand, and I begin to clean up the playpen because the baby's going to need it whenever we pick her up later today from daycare. I finish my day, and then somehow the kinetic sand comes back more, which the kiddo probably did more. I'm very furious at this point. But, just taking it all in stride. So I have to sweep up kinetic sand all over the floor. And then I do like the Swiffer, whatever, wet to try to get it off like the laminate floors that we have and then off the tile. Yeah, so the kiddo has all over his stuffed animals, all over everything, just everywhere. And so I'm just like breaking down, like, oh my God, what did you do? And I go to sit on the couch and, oh my God, there's more fucking kinetic sand all over the fucking couch. God damn, I'm so furious. I was like, all over it. Like, what are you doing? Like, if you can find it in the corner, fine. I can clean up this one corner. On the couch? Really? Like, I'm just furious. I was like, kinetic sand has been banned in the household. I'm done. All right. I vacuumed the couch as much as possible. I before I started the podcast, we all showered, bathed, and whatever, because it felt like I went to the beach today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's shoes that I cannot wear in the house because I swear there's kinetic sand on the bottom of it. And so a lot of shoes just thrown into the garage hastily. Furious about this kinetic sand.
Oh, this is such a dad move. This is such a dad, I love this.
It's just like, get this shit out of here. The sand is everywhere.
This is Anakin Skywalker sand angry.
I was just about to say, Commish, would you say that the sand is coarse and rough and irritating?
Yes.
You've already established that it gets everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's coarse, irritating. For me...
Is this why he killed the women and the children?
Maybe. There was kinetic sand there. The younglings got into the kinetic sand. So, really,
he's way more sympathetic now.
I would just like, I can definitely, I understand that completely understand that. And I think the song that popped in my head the whole time was, exit light, enter night, take my hand, here's some more fucking kinetic sand.
I just realized that the reason that Anakin hates sand is because he grew up on Tatooine.
Yes.
Yeah.
I never realized that before. It always felt like a weird tangent, but now it makes a lot of sense.
Was the sand kinetic too? I don't know.
Don't you give me that look, PittGirl. I saw the eye roll. I saw that.
How did you not know that? Oh, okay.
No.
Do you have any idea what the actual volume of the sand was prior to its distribution?
Okay, so it was this weird treasure chest thing where you dig in the treasure chest and then there's stuff buried in
Oh, that's the
kinetic
problem.
sand.
Okay, this is the
Oh
problem.
no. So he'd
Okay.
already done this digging
Yeah.
done. He gotten everything out of it like over like a month or two ago. And so the kinetic sand was on a tray and he was only supposed to play with it on this little table on the tray. Oh no. He took his monster trucks and he's doing like, just $5. Sunday, kinetic sand everywhere. Make your dad want to pull out his hair. I am so furious. I'm just like, so my wife gets home. She's like, "Oh, you're going to talk about this on the podcast," and my 6-year-old just like, "Don't do it." I'm like, "I got to vent. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
sir. I got to get this
somewhere.
out. I'm going to go crazy." Just, oh my, like, why? Like, I if anybody ever gives me kinetic sand, I am going. I see it. I don't care if he's at a birthday party and open it. I'm going straight to the garbage can and I am dropping it off right in the trash immediately. It's done.
I've already been pricing like wholesale quantities.
You can give me a 10-pound bag of whatever, and if I see what it is, I'm gonna walk it right back out to the garbage. It is not coming in my house anymore.
Of kinetic sand.
Yep.
No more. Buy some kinetic sand on the Sickos Committee store to anchor the Commish. No.
Kinetic sand, not a sponsor, weirdly.
Not a sponsor.
Happy to.
Big kinetic sand if you're listening.
And the thing is, too, at some point, I realized some of the sand was wet. So he was putting his water bottle, he opened it and was pouring some into the kinetic sand.
But
So he had
the
kinetic
whole
sand
point
in
is
his hair. Like, I don't know what the hell he was doing. Like, I had to, it's just.
He was doing science.
Yeah.
He was, whatever.
Hey, the scientific method requires testing,
It's
asshole.
like I couldn't get him into a summer camp this week. We didn't have any vacation this
So
week.
he took you to summer
Oh
camp.
God, he did. He took me to the beach. And the sea was angry that day, my friends. And so was me. So was I. Jesus Christ. So bad. I'm gonna
One
drink
of the
now.
top 10 questions on Google when you search kinetic sand is, does kinetic sand get messy? Answer.
Fuck yes. Fuck yes. Yeah.
So I have to ask the parents of Smalls on this podcast. Would you rather have a kinetic sand disaster, or would you rather have homemade slime in the carpet?
Oh, kinetic sand disaster. 100%. 100%.
I don't have much carpet, and it would probably give me an excuse to get rid of the carpet and put new flooring down.
Oh, you're getting rid of the carpet at this
That's
point.
a good
Yeah.
dad
The
answer.
carpet is
though.
gone.
Yeah.
That is a good
If
dad
the slime is in the carpet, that's I would those things that they're like the arms with the hand that sticks to the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like you just fling them, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Tremendous at slapping your
he
brother,
would,
but go on.
He would get these for being a good kid at school. Like he would get a coupon,
Hell yeah,
Whatever.
treasure box.
a treasure box, and he would get that. For some odd reason, he was able to get these things stuck on the ceiling. And he's not that tall. He's 6 years old. He's nowhere near my height at all.
Good
That's
angle.
what
Yeah.
Somehow
for.
you can get it stuck on the ceiling. So I've had to. There's like spots on the ceiling where the slime was, and I haven't gotten up there to clean that. So if we ever sell the house, I'm gonna have to repaint. I'm hiring somebody. I'm already.
Oh, yeah. Don't do
that.
that yourself.
I am not doing that shit myself. Somebody else is gonna come touch this place up.
Listen,
You can also just
you're
pray
going
that
to
the buyers don't look up.
you're going to take a little bit of a hit from your buyer who's probably going to notice that. But think about how much you're going to gain because your house is beachfront property now.
That's all right.
Mhm. I'll be finding sand for years.
I
Yeah.
got some
All
oceanfront
rooms
property.
have an ocean view.
I got some oceanfront property in San
Mhm.
Antonio. From my house, there's kinetic sand in your butt crack.
The
That's a
first
good
thing we have to do tonight that's real business is I have to make a correction. On the last podcast, I referred to him as Biff Poggi. We all did.
Yep.
It's actually Charlotte's head coach is Biff Poggi.
That's even better. That's a
The Poggi
Biff
hoagie still
Poggi-
works.
A Poggi hoagie. I'll give it.
I completely biffed that, if you will. And
Nah.
I am very sorry for mispronouncing Coach Jiff's names,
Jeff
and
hoagie.
I will try to do this right in the future.
Would it
I
be
too-
better for like a po boy pogie or whatever? Poji?
Poggi Po Boy.
Koji.
Po boy.
I'm probably saying to his last boss, Gim Harbaugh. I've
Gim.
been mispronouncing his name as well.
Gim.
Yep.
It's Gim.
I'm sorry, Gim.
I thought it was Gaim.
Biff, if you are listening to this, you have a standing invitation from me to come on to this podcast at any point and absolutely light our asses on fire.
Yes,
Yes.
100%.
Like, please do. We have earned it.
Bring the Rita's mascot too.
Yep.
Yep. I would also like to take this moment as we apologize for mispronouncing your name, Coach Poggi, to appreciate your 4th of July tweet. Quote, "Today I was on the beach smoking a cigar when suddenly 4 Marine Corps pilots flew over in their combat fighters. My wife said to me, 'I have chills.' I said, 'So do I.' 'Why do you think we have that visceral emotion?' She said, 'Because they are so brave.' I was overcome with emotion and I began to weep. Yes, your head coach wept. I realized that I was not brave enough to serve as so many courageous men and women have since the founding of our country. There is no one I respect more than our military and first responders. Not athletes, not coaches, not intellectuals, not the wealthy. While I perused my dreams, they bravely interrupted their lives so I could do so. I would ask every person in Charlotte to attend our home game against the United States Naval Academy."
Yes, always do end with a plug.
You have to, like, put Lee Greenwood under that just, like, nice and softly.
Yeah. Oh God, I know. Fucking Star Spangled Banner. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. America the Beautiful.
Yeah.
Like,
oh,
nice instrumental.
good God.
Oh,
That was beautiful.
How do you even?
Amber waves
Okay, at least
of Poggi.
it wasn't like some football coaches, which are like the real, football players are just like Marines. We're all, we take. Did your high school football teams near you ever just like take their group pictures on top of tanks? Is that something that we only do around here? Never
What
mind.
the fuck? No.
No, you know how they have those like group pictures? They would go to the local National Guard and like hop on tanks. And so like their picture would be like the whole full team would be in front of a tank or something.
My high school football team sucked, but also no.
Yeah. Weirdly not a thing here, but it's the kind of thing that I could see being a thing
Or
here.
like helicopters or whatever. Yeah.
For us, I would think it's more just a lack of tanks.
Okay.
Well, there are all of those tanks that you out by Carlisle by the Army War College that you can see from Interstate 81. So maybe some of the Cumberland County schools do that, but the one that I went to did not.
Yeah. Well, and the 28th used to be headquartered here, but they had to move, and so like we don't have, because they have like gigantic naval guns and all kinds of stuff you could have gone and gotten your picture taken with, but well.
It looks like that has become less of a thing as time has rolled on. But I definitely remember post 9/11 that this was a thing that like they went very hard into.
No, I don't think New Orleans would do something like that. And then especially where I went to, I mean, like a Catholic school on a tank, not necessarily. Nah, nothing like that. The only tank I think we really want to do that in New Orleans growing up was probably the No Limit Soldiers tank. We want to take a school picture in front of that one. That's about it.
Biggest college football news we have this week, besides all college football media trying to find out where their next home is going to be, is that San Diego State in the Mountain West, the saga continues. San Diego State said, "We're coming back," and Mountain West went, "Awesome, but you left, so you owe us the $17 million." And San Diego State said, "What?" Mountain West, "No, you left. We accepted your resignation letter. You're welcome back, but there is a leaving fee of $17 million, cash or check." And that's where we are right now. I don't think they'll get the $17 million, but that's a great place to start the negotiations.
Mm-hmm. Secure the bag, Mountain West.
So
I respect the hustle.
Why would you not?
I think there's a final decision date that needs to be made on this. I think it's July 17th.
Okay.
So July 17th is the negotiation due date, I would say. I think maybe San Diego State pays a penalty of maybe a couple mil.
Okay, so
max
if I set the over under at 4.5 mil, where do you go? How much is San Diego State gonna have to pay over under 4.5 mil? Yeah, I know.
4.5. That's good. Sponsor us,
Yeah.
DraftKings. You could put the line on that.
I genuinely feel like that's a push.
Okay.
So here's my question here. How much longer do we think? Let's assume that they go back into the Mountain West. How long do you think they're going to stay?
And that's what I think they're probably, if they're gone, I feel like they want to leave and I think they would maybe leave in like a year after this, if possible.
Right.
Which we
Which
don't
is
know.
now going to run them, like, in theory, $34 million to
No,
leave.
Yes.
Yes. So I'm gonna stick at 5 and say slightly over 4.5.
Because you're trying to recoup as much of the
Yeah.
17 that they have to pay before
Yes.
then they leave again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
might as well double charge them. Why not?
Double dip.
I mean, if I'm the Mountain West, absolutely.
What the fuck are they going to do? Say no? Okay, cool. Enjoy your year of being independent. Figure your schedule out.
We'll add you to our graphic.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I feel like listeners of a former NFL podcast might remember a little game called Sabin Or. And
Oh, yeah.
San Diego State in the Mountain West is a really good Sabin Or.
I don't know that one. I don't know the answer for that one.
I don't either. That's why it's a good one.
I don't think they could have fucked this up any worse.
They could have been actually homeless. The Mountain West could have told them to go kick rocks, and they could have been an independent that really doesn't want to be one. But otherwise, yeah, I don't think that they could have fucked this up any worse other than that.
Okay, speaking from someone who I have many flaws. You guys have seen a lot of them. Personal, emotional, psychological. They're all there out in the open. One of my big flaws, like back before I met my wife, or actually while I met my wife, was that I was very bad about having clear breaks between relationships. Let's put it that way. I had some overlap. I didn't like much like jobs. I didn't want to leave my last job until I had the next one secured. So there was some overlap. Okay. The overlap stopped because my wife was the last overlap. I'm not going to go into how long the overlap was. No one needs to know how many months that was. It wasn't great.
Months.
Wasn't great. Not proud of this.
Months.
But San Diego State, as someone who has this problem, you don't leave until you got the next one set up. Okay. You talk to her, you go like, hey, I really want this to happen, but it can't happen yet. And then eventually you move. I was a bad person for a while, guys. I won't lie. I was kind of an awful person for a bit. Stop looking at me that way, Beth.
Is this because of, like, the axiom that if you have one read, you don't have any reads?
Right, you gotta have two to have one.
So let's go back to the college football thing here. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one quarterback. Is that what you
Right?
what you were doing here?
Mm-hmm.
Gotta have 3 to have 2.
I don't know, man. It seems like he was running the quarterback option.
So if you have 2 conferences, you have no conferences. That's what I'm hearing.
Exactly what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah. Anyways, enough about me being a bad person for a while. Let's talk about
Bad
hot
boy.
dogs,
Tune in
shall we?
next
Bad
time.
boy.
Let's talk about hot dogs, shall we? I have never wanted a hot dog more after watching one of these hot dog eating contests. Let's back up. It's 4th of July, greatest American tradition, Coney Island, Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest. Women's contest goes off without a hitch. It's earlier in the morning. They don't show it live because fuck this country for that.
Oh man, you gotta have hot dog equality on the 4th of July.
Equal goddamn time.
Right.
How many times do we have to say it?
You're telling
I
me
didn't know
there's
that didn't go live?
patriarchy in
What?
the United States of America?
Imagine that.
They'll hear you.
Man.
Shout out to Miki Sudo, who won the women's championship. She is a little younger than me. She's 37. And she took down, let me get the number here. Was it 30? It was 39 and a half hot dogs.
Yes.
Yeah. They had miscounted, by the way. They had her much closer to second place, but apparently her counter just fell behind or something. But yeah, she did a great job. The women, by the way, shout out to Glizzy Lizzie, who won for having the best nickname of the day. She did not win the contest.
No.
But Glizzy Lizzie became the star of Twitter that day.
I need to know. Look, I'm old. All right, just gonna flat out say this. Where the hell did the terminology "glizzy" come from?
As the youngest person on the pod, I too am too old for this.
So I saw a tweet today saying
Do
that.
I need to turn to my younger colleagues?
Sure. You know, I saw a tweet saying that it came from the DMV area. So, like Baltimore, DC, they called them glizzies, and that's how it occurred. But I had no idea. I don't even want to look it up.
On Urban Dictionary, glizzy is listed as a word for hot dog on the whole front page.
Okay, yes.
Also for penis, but mostly for hot dog.
Okay.
And this goes back to another word for hot dog in DC from 2017. So these are all pre this past weekend.
So 2017, we're crediting DC with the glizzy, I guess.
Yes. So I have Know Your Meme open.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Glizzy is a slang term for hot dog.
Whoa.
In June 2020, some online applied the term to images of people eating hot dogs, referring to them as glizzy gladiators if the picture subject can fit a large section of the hot dog in their mouth.
Yeah.
The origin of the term is unknown and existed in various regions around the U.S., including Washington, D.C. and Alabama prior to appearing online. One of the earliest references to glizzy as a hot dog comes from YouTuber Azel Prather, who posted a video describing the different types of glizzies on October 24th, 2016.
And where's this person from? Or are we just going to credit DC with this?
I am
enough.
reading. I am but a humble reader of Know Your
Okay.
Meme.
I probably won't use the terminology, but just seeing the nickname, Glizzy Lizzy.
I do feel like I could eat a dumb number of hot dogs.
Yeah.
But I cannot watch this competition
Sure.
because the way they eat bread horrifies me.
It's hard to watch.
Dunk the bread in the water.
But it's not just that. It's when they squeeze it out afterwards.
Yep. It's one of the things that I don't understand about this, and I understand it's all about like how much biomass can you put into your human body.
Yeah.
Condiments are legal in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
If it were me, I would destroy that bread with mustard. Just absolutely destroy it. Just anything to keep me from realizing that what I'm eating is effectively a bread gusher.
I didn't need bread gusher.
That's
Bread
fucking
gusher.
awful.
I really didn't need
awful.
bread gusher.
That's awful, Beth. Holy shit.
I'm not sorry.
No, it shouldn't be, but it's awful. So then what happened, I'm pushing forward here, is it rained. And it rained very hard on Coney Island. Like it was legit. And they canceled the event. ESPN announced they canceled it. But then we start getting messages of like Joey Chestnut, human garbage disposal extraordinaire, coming out and going, nah, fuck it, we're going to do this thing. First off, they don't have a rain location. They can't do it inside. I don't get that, but whatever. It ends up happening 2 hours late, which throws off all the eaters. Because apparently, like, that's a very, you work towards that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it went off without a hitch. Joey Chestnut won again. His age is catching up with him, but he's still, even at not at his peak anymore, he's still 12, 13 dogs faster than the person next to him. He's untouchable, really. I'm just excited to see what he does for America's 250th in 3 years.
USA.
Absolutely. Then they were talking about like they had to recook the dogs.
Oh.
Like they had to cook new dogs.
They had to cook new dogs.
Yeah, because
I guess they don't have the 7-Eleven hot dog warmer.
Nope, they don't use that.
They make them look like they're grilled, but I was told by someone that they boil these. These are boiled dogs, which means they're not great dogs. But that's okay. You're eating 62. And a bit? Was it 62 flat or was it 62 and a bit? I can't remember.
I would assume that boiled is the way to go for this because what you want is uniformity.
And
it's very difficult to get uniformity on a grilled dog. Like this thing, you want something that is going to basically have the same texture the whole way through it.
I do need to.
I shouldn't be allowed to. I should not be allowed to describe this competition because I feel like I'm making it worse.
I'm just thinking about sous vide hot dogs now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, just one consistent texture of rubber.
They can't.
All our dog.
They can't put like the hot dogs on a panini press or something like that.
Just get them
they've got to be
grilled. Gotta be like the way it is.
Those are good though. If you cut a hot dog in half and then grill, like put it on a flat top.
Oh, that's the old Five Guys.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Bud's Broiler in New Orleans.
Do it at a waffle iron, cowards.
Just want to throw out some numbers here. What he ate was about 18,000 calories. That's about 1,000% of your daily recommended value.
Hit it with the sodium.
The sodium's going to be what you're going to be worried about here, because that's about 49,000 milligrams of sodium. That's 20,000% of your daily sodium intake.
That's like you went to Chipotle twice.
You're gonna want to dry out after that. Total fat, about a kilo of fat, 1,000 grams, 372 saturated fats. Here's the big one: 62 grams of trans fat.
That's the fatberg was inside you all along.
That's 28,000% of your daily trans fats. Don't do that. Total carbs, about 5,000% of your daily carbs. By the way, poops though gonna be great. 250% of his dietary fiber.
Okay.
It'll slide out wonderfully.
Come on, man.
Usually when people mean regular,
you got to get your fiber in. I assume he's just
And
like,
out,
chugging
and
phylum,
out,
like
and out,
phylum,
and out.
chugging phylum husks after this. 620 grams of protein if you're bulking, and 2,000 grams.
Are we?
2,000
Are we
milligrams of
bulking?
cholesterol. For all the people that go up there, they always talk about like their other things that they've done, and they mentioned that someone took down a gallon of chili in 90 seconds, and that seems more horrifying to me.
Oh, that's deeply disturbing.
Yeah, because
Huh.
right,
How? Like, how?
I don't know.
Okay, first of all, chili IV is cheating.
No, you gotta put it in the face hole. Well, I assume it has to go in some hole. Doesn't have to be the face. I don't know what the rules are for competitive eating.
We are
This
not
is-
Tennessee sorority girls, Jordan.
Yo.
All right, everybody, slap the bag, and by the bag I mean like the bag they use for the chili dip and the chili cheese fry machines in bad baseball parks.
Yep. That's how we do it.
Ugh.
Joe Chestnut also holds the world record for world records because he has so many of the eating ones. I'm just going to mention some of the funnier ones here. Chicken wings long form. Don't know what that means.
I have to assume that, like, I bet there's separate categories for like the drumettes versus the two bony things.
Okay.
Flats?
He did eat 182 in 30 minutes. There's also funnel cake, 6 pounds of funnel cake in 10 minutes. 23
Oh, no.
6-inch cheesesteaks in 10 minutes. 390 shrimp wontons in 8 minutes. Burritos, long form. 14.5 pounds of burrito in 10 minutes. 121 Twinkies in 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
Yeah. 28 pounds of poutine in 10 minutes.
Oh.
Oh my god.
That's going to compact. It's dense.
That's so much poutine.
It's so
Does he even still have a duodenum, or is it just gone?
gone.
All his stomach.
How about pizzones? 7.5 pizzones in 10 minutes.
Wait. The like Pizza Hut calzone? There was
Yes.
a eating
Mhm.
contest for that?
Yes. What
If
about
there wasn't, he was going to argue there was.
what about pepperoni rolls?
Hmm.
How about 43 pepperoni rolls in 10 minutes?
How big are the pepperoni rolls?
I assume competition standard size.
It's about yay big.
Whatever the competition says. How about brain tacos? 54 in 8 minutes. That's a lot of fat. Brain is a very fatty.
Does he have the record for fugu?
I don't see it here. I can't imagine the record for fugu is. How about, okay, this one's pretty good. How about 141 hard-boiled eggs in 8 minutes?
What did he do? Just like go to every bar in Lancaster?
If they were pickled, I'd be even happier.
Glory to red beet eggs, even though I don't personally like them.
Never had them, never will.
Yeah.
When we do our first like gross out Twitter, YouTube content, it's going to be Jordan goes to the grocery store and buys all the pickled products he can find and feeds them to Commish. Anyways, that's Joey Chestnut. Congratulations. It was a lot. 62 wasn't the world record. Afterwards, the guy I was interviewing was like, "Do you think you got 76 in you? Can you break your record?" He goes, "I got it in me." A true champion.
He's got that dog in him.
Literally 62.
And the bread gusher to go along with it.
Do you just want to call it a brusher?
no.
No? Okay. I just like this tweet. I think it's from Kenneth Heelsley. Heelsley K13. When the hot dog contest was canceled, and then Joey Chestnut came out and just like a fierce walk, just angry walk.
It was so
coming
good.
out. And he goes, "Hear me out. I'm not saying that Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest is going to happen, but Joey Jaws just came out and said, and I quote, I'm gonna get the rest of the guys out, and we're gonna do this fucker." Hashtag Nathan's famous. Hashtag ESPN.
Run through a goddamn wall for that man.
I feel like that got a lot of traction too. Let me see. It was just everybody posted that one. It was ridiculous.
I've never wanted anything in my life more than that man wants a truly dangerous amount of tube meat.
Oh yeah, I saw him. You remember the old show Man vs. Food?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we got to watch Adam Richman get progressively unhealthier for over 4 seasons.
Mhm.
There was a burrito episode, and watching Joey Chestnut eat a long burrito in one go was like watching a python.
Mhm.
Like he detached his jaw and it was just like, and like just slid down his throat. It was amazing. Like watching a python feed.
It's like watching someone whose gag reflex works backwards.
Yes, it like brings it in. I don't know what it is.
No, it was just like, how are you breathing? I don't understand.
Circular breathing's tough. We both know this.
I can't do it.
Yeah, can't do it either.
We don't have a future in hot dogs or burritos, apparently.
Or chili, or hard-boiled eggs.
Or long-form chicken wings.
Now, there is something that we might be able to do.
Is a stoma cheating in that sport?
Ooh, I don't know. Is that a biological advantage? we need testing for stomas.
Yeah, like that's the PED
Mm-hmm.
of that. Like, there's somebody at a back alley with a Bic pen. Like, come here, I'll help you.
God, why a Bic pen?
Oh, that's one of the easiest things you can do a trach with in quick first aid. A Bic pen and a rock will get you there.
You need to never be more than 10 feet from a hospital when I'm with you. I don't want you jumping in to volunteer haphazardly to fix things.
To be fair, I only outrank an EMT or a doctor if we are more than a day from help.
Okay, good to know. Gonna have to draw a map of places we can go and visit.
So much for Alaska.
Yeah. Oh no. God no. God no. There is something we might be able to create our own category for, and that's some big corn energy. We found a Nebraska, not just themed, but Nebraska supporting energy drink at Hy-Vee. Our man Andrew took this picture, I believe.
No, actually, shout out to another committee member. He goes by the name of Vonk.
Yes, bonked. And sent us a picture of Big Corn Energy, the energy drink. We posted this. I'd seen some stuff about this. Best part was nowhere online could I find any information about ingredients or calories. Not on their website, not on any website. Big Corn Energy, however, did find us on Twitter and send us
Oh, we got
ingredient list,
tagged.
which I'll pull up in a moment.
We got
But
tagged.
Commish, do you want to read the tasting notes that Vonk wrote for us?
I'll definitely do that. I asked Vonk to give us a review of the Big Corn Energy drink. I do want to just shout out that this is for a good cause. 25% of the proceeds go to the Nebraska Walk-Ons program, which is very cool. So if you walk on to the Nebraska football team, I guess this maybe is some sort of NIL money or something of that, which is it's pretty cool. Nebraska's always had an awesome walk-on program, and just for them to do this energy drink for them, it's great. I love it. It looks like a big, giant Tylenol with like a big corn on it, a big piece of corn on it, and it's just red and white. Big Corn Energy. I mean, it couldn't really get more Nebraska than that. I'm gonna go ahead and read Vonk's review of this. Now, if this is a little bit too, don't hurt us. This is just Vonk's opinion. We've never had it. We can't get this in Texas or Pennsylvania yet to try it ourselves yet. But maybe some of our Nebraska followers or listeners, you want to reach out, send us an email to Sickos Committee. We may give you an address and ship us a few of these. And we definitely
I was going to say that we should have a PO box, but after you've talked about your kinetic sand, there's no way it does not end up filled with kinetic sand.
Yeah, definitely need I'm probably going to need to get a PO box at some point in time.
I'll get a PO box. My life is a shambles. It's fine.
Okay, perfect. We'll put you as the PO box.
You want to give the nibblings all the kinetic sand that's going to go to that
There
PO
you
box.
done. They don't live with you, right?
Hey, several of the nibblings live in a whole different state.
Oh, even
Perfect.
better.
So you can just
Ooh.
Go
pack
away.
that and then just send the ticking time bomb of kinetic sand to your relatives. And if you really don't like them, give them a lot more kinetic sand.
Mhm.
Yes, the ones that you have
See,
to
you
do.
can only mail people geese at certain times of the year, but you can mail them kinetic sand all year round.
You always use geese as your bar.
But you can mail geese. You can also just put a stamp on a potato.
Everyone knows that a potato is just an envelope.
Perfect.
It's a pre-stuffed envelope.
Yep.
All right, back to the Big Corn Energy. Since we're talking about vegetables again, here's Vonk's review. I'm going to try to read this as well as I humanly can. It's, let's see how this goes. I don't know if you want to put some sort of music here
Something
for a
classy.
review.
Yeah,
Put something classy.
a little Bach
Maybe
Sonata,
like
but fine.
it reads like a wine tasting. So
That's why
this is
Bach
great.
Sonata. Oh yeah.
Vonk did a really good job on this writing. So first, hints off the nose are of stale Red Bull left out in the sun a bit too long. Like, this might just be B-stock Red Bull, or someone tried to reverse engineer it and got close enough.
So the AlphaTauri
Yes.
of
Close. Right. First tastes are very sweet, not cutting the palate like Red Bull usually does. A little tangy? Question mark. And could definitely use more carbonation. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be able to finish this, but I'll try. 5-minute update. Okay, I'm starting to ease into it, and it's relatively refreshing. Also starting to feel the energy drink buzz, so this stuff is legit. Now, worried it might be too legit to quit. And I'm about to be jittery all afternoon. I'm sorry, I had to add to quit. 1 hour update. Finished all 12 ounces. Feel about the same as if I drank a 12-ounce Red Bull. The full drink was tolerable, but not something I really want to drink again. Honestly, if they market it as heavy Red Bull with a hint of cornmeal, it would be an honest description. Rating, a 3 out of 12, but it's the best 3 out of 12 energy drink in history.
So it does have about the same amount of caffeine as a Red Bull. Red Bull has 111 milligrams. This has 116.
So keep in mind that is a Nebraska fan taking a dig at Nebraska themselves, and that's probably why they love us. So I'll just say that.
We've got things like filtered carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup, artificial flavor, citric acid, sodium citrate, whatever that is, taurine, caffeine, potassium sorbate, sodium benzoate, niacinamide, inositol, sucralose, the usual stuff. Lots of B vitamins, something called pantothenic acid. I don't know.
I just want to know if you can go to a bar in Lincoln and just say, give me a big corn and vodka, or a big corn and Jaeger.
Why are you putting big corn with anything other than moonshine? Because then it's just corn all the way down. Also, these look like Campbell's soup cans.
What were you going to say, PittGirl?
You could do bombs with these.
Oh, yeah.
Also.
Big corn bombs.
Okay, hold up. Okay. You drop the Red Bull into a beer.
Yes.
But then also with a hand of corn puffs.
I feel like this is the kind of thing that Flaming Hot Cheetos gets involved in.
Yeah.
But do Nebraskans consume Flaming Hot Cheetos?
Well, regular Cheetos are already too spicy, so probably not.
Also, 25 grams of sugar in this bad boy.
Woo!
From high fructose corn syrup, so they're not lying about it being corn energy.
That's right.
No, that is a big corn energy, literally. That's what it says on the tin.
And then we threw sucralose on top of it.
Ooh.
We gave our corn a Splenda hat.
Wait, can I just buy taurine? How much is just like taurine off the shelf?
Yes, you can. It's an amino acid most cats are missing. So if you're going to make homemade cat food, you have to be able to get it.
Taurine Amazon. Hold up real fast, guys.
Don't ask me how I know.
Hi, podcast.
I just want to make my own energy drink. Hold up.
Make my own energy drink.
Make my own energy.
Please, your search filter, please.
You could just make coffee.
What if I want something a little more fun?
Ooh, cold brew big corn energy.
Oh.
They make energy drink concentrate.
Oh God! Oh,
like
that's
your
definitely killed some people. That has definitely killed some teenager somewhere who was like, "I'm just gonna do shots of the concentrate," because that is something I would have done as a teenager.
No gravy in the soda stream. These are our rules. No gravy in the soda stream.
I'm gonna carbonate milk.
There was a great bar in Dallas that used to have this
Fizz
thing
milk.
where they would every Wednesday they would take suggestions on Facebook for ingredients. They'd draw 5 out of a hat, and they would make 5 drinks with whatever ingredients people put in the hat. And they stopped doing it randomly one night when someone put in garlic, and they had to make a garlic like it was like a carrot garlic foam drink. And I went to order it, and they go, "You don't want that. You really don't want this." And
Why didn't they just make a Bloody Mary variant?
Because this was the kind of bar where the guy had a twirly mustache and a fedora.
Oh,
okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Let's go to plug some things. First off, we have the Patreon and the Discord. In these trying, unsure times, don't you want to make sure you can find the sickos whatever's going on? It's okay. We've been on this Discord for at least 3 years now. We're not going anywhere.
No.
So you should come
We're
find
in
us
the walls.
there. We're in the walls
Yeah,
at this point.
that's our actual home.
Yeah.
For sure.
So come find us there. Commish is going to start doing some single season recaps, and we're also going to have some stuff like, I don't know, whenever we get stuff from conferences and they ask us to do polls, we're always going to ask you for your opinions. You guys are always going to be on the front of just the nebula of content creation that we do of weird things. So if you want to throw in more information and help us out and all that stuff and come up with your own and want us to like make graphics and things like that about it, absolutely join. It's $5 a month for Discord access, $3 a month if you just want to throw us some cash. And yeah, you'll get extra podcast episodes too coming up, which Commish is very excited about.
Honestly, I just want to just plug this. I'm not going to say what conference it is from, but a conference has entrusted us with a ballot to their preseason poll as the committee. We are going to be holding a poll inside that poll. We're going to vote and rank the teams in this conference. So if you want to feel like you are part of voting in a preseason poll, you have that opportunity if you join our Discord.
Also, shout out to our merch store. We have beveled t-shirts now because we do the thing. We also found out that the bucket hat looks very sweet, and everyone should get the bucket hat. It is a lightly denimed bucket hat, which
there's
has
4
immaculate
varieties.
vibes.
There's 4 varieties of the bucket hat. There is a lightly denimed bucket hat, like complete, and then there's one that has like a navy blue, like brim on the bucket hat.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was the one I was looking at.
It's very nice. I don't wear bucket hats, but if I were, I would definitely be wearing one of those.
I feel like I have a good head for a bucket hat, but I am worried that my head is maybe too small for this bucket hat.
Next up, Message Board Geniuses podcast. They go to places that we don't go because message boards are a complete shit show, and I don't want to dig through those. Thank you for them to listen.
What if all the social media breaks and that's what we're left with?
Oh no.
Then we're starting our own Usenet. We're going back to Usenet, kids.
Yeah,
Okay.
Done.
Alt.ha.ha.ha.yes. No, the idea I had today was the best one. Was just if all this fucks up, we just have a single Google document that we all type into on game days, and everyone give everyone access.
It's like high school, but with everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yep, nothing could go
I'll
wrong.
have AOL bring back one chat room.
Someone said you just invented live blogging. Yep, you're absolutely right. We are
Well,
pivot.
and if you do that with the Google Doc, we can do the Google Doc that has a little chat bubble in it too.
Oh yeah, that's
So we got the chat bubble and the Google Doc at the same
I
time.
wonder how
Make
many
sure you
people
turn on
can-
annotations.
I wonder how many people can get into Google Doc at once. That might be a summer project. I might just tweet out one day and be like, "How many simultaneous editors can we have on a Google Doc?"
I can't wait until CNN is like, Google was down for 16 hours today.
Also, our Substack. That's where we do long form work. That's where we start writing fancy words. I think I have an idea for my first piece. I'll talk about it off air. But
Okay.
I think I'm actually going to write something finally.
I do want to let you know the potato chip ratio is still going, and I'm still in the A's, unfortunately, though. There's a lot of schools that start with A, for God's sakes. I think I'm at Arkansas State. So this is a lot of different things that is going into it, and I look forward to the Substack. There's also a chat feature on the Substack, which there could be another ripcord we have to pull. And so maybe we could live tweet inside the Substack chat. And that is another option. So subscribe. It's free for now. It may be for you later in the future, but we don't know if that'll happen. But if I ever finish the potato chip ratio, yeah, I'm gonna have to do that.
Oh yeah, that one's yeah.
Also, I have to plug something real quick. The boys at Transfer Portal, CFB, they did just put out their yearly preview, and this is the first time they're doing this. It's kind of like a Phil Steele's version. It's $9.99. And they've previewed all 133 teams for the upcoming season. It's a digital PDF. The Sickos committee wrote something for that. Actually, just personally myself and the editor, Mr. Jordan here. We did a Sickos 2022 recap, and then we did a Sickos 2023 preview by using our Sickos warning system of warning, watch, and advisory. So it's there. Check it out. Again, $9.99. It's a digital PDF. Wherever you want to read it, you can read it on your phone, your iPad. You can download it, print it, send it to your dad via mail. It doesn't matter. Photocopy it. Who gives a crap? But they worked really hard on that. That's the folks that do no context football. So the no context account. They dabble in a little bit of writing. They have their own podcast, but they were very open to us when we first started tweeting, and they started following us right away. They invited me on their podcast, which is on YouTube, probably like in 2021 at some point in time. And that appearance led me to change my drapes because I didn't like them. So, definitely support them. I did not realize that they posted the table of contents in this. And when we kick off this thing,
Yeah, we do.
we kick
Ooh. Yeah.
off. We kick off
Yep.
the preview and review. It's crazy. I didn't know we're bringing the intro here, so that's fantastic. So support them, and we definitely appreciate it.
Keynote speakers, Sickos Committee.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to 2023-2024. This is how it's going to go.
This is weird as hell, but just enjoying the ride.
And lastly, comfy shirts are always great to have. Home field apparel does the work. I'm seeing, is that a Gamecock shirt?
It is. This is one of my random March Madness shirts.
There you go.
Very nice.
If you've never bought from Home Field before, we have a code for 15% off. That is yes, ha, 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 yes, 3 ha's. This week, the Penn State update. Okay, this podcast is fueled by Penn State slander, but the blue Nittany Lions hoodie looks so fucking good. I have to say that. Also, the Notre Dame tennis crew looks amazing. And we have a new school drop, UT Chattanooga. I've already seen the preview, and it looks good. Lots of train stuff, which...
Woo woo.
Woo-hoo. I can't wait to see this UT Chattanooga stuff. I love these little schools. I am very hyped for these little schools. And there's a ringer in there. They have the ringer tee, like the blue ringer. It is very gorgeous of a shirt. And these shirts are just incredibly soft. Honestly, after the pandemic started, they did their big new Saturday, and that was kind of like the thing that was keeping me going throughout the pandemic. So getting like a Tulane shirt, you get like, just random like a Hawaii shirt. They have almost all the schools, and if you don't, yell at them like, hey, AD of my school, AD of ULM, what? Come on, man, get home field apparel already.
Look at that hoodie. Drop it in the chat. Look at the hoodie. It looks great.
Come on, Teal. We've talked about
Teal
this.
College, Division III. Oh, definitely.
While we're putting in requests for Division III schools, Home Field, if you would like to make getting Christmas presents for my father much easier for me, please add RIT. It would make my day.
Okay, but that's D1 hockey, isn't it?
It is D1 hockey.
So
It's
there you go.
Everything else.
Yeah. RPI, Union. There's lots of... Where's my Quinnipiac Bobcat?
Yeah, I mean, national championship.
Don't ask where he was on January 6th, because I think he follows Q, but okay, whatever.
Well, he was out doing polling, obviously.
Yeah.
Polling.
Yeah. Polling real Americans.
That's right. In those diners.
And now we go on to another one of our favorite parts, the Bosatwa Ab 500 at the best season of all time for teams who are below 500 all time. And y'all, we're in the 2010s yet again. Because tonight we're talking about Florida International and the beautiful, beautiful FIU Panthers. Miami's one true football team.
Technically true.
Not just technically, like just true. You're starting Commish?
Oh, I'm doing it. Okay, perfect. Okay.
We can split on this. That's fine.
No, that's fine. It's perfect. So I'll just go ahead and I'll start this. He's looking at me like, are you? He's like,
Sorry.
I just insert the Puff Daddy and that guy meme that is just looking at each other, and they both like, are you gonna go? Are you gonna go? Because that's basically what we did. The best season of all time for teams are below 500 all time. Part 30 of 40. The 2000
We're almost there.
2018 FIU Panthers. Oh yes.
What's really surprising is that this was the year after Alex Magooch graduated.
Magooch.
USFL champion, graduated 2017, and yet this was the year we chose. Why not more Magooch? Why are we not going heavier on Magooch?
Well, I mean, Magooch, he had a good year in 2017. So that was probably their best year of all time before their best season of all time for teams who are below 500 all time. The BSOATFTWAB be 500 AT for short. I can't even do it anymore.
Our branding is so fucking good, guys.
It's great. It's lovely. Like, we never came up with a shorter name for this. And
branding's our passion.
It is our passion, along with beveling. So definitely here, this was great. So FIU, again, not an old school whatsoever. Their first season was in 2002. really not that great of a history at all.
Like the school itself is not that old. It opened in 65.
Yeah, the school itself is not that old. They started a football program basically the same time that FAU did it, because FIU and FAU, they wanted to both join the football powers. And I just want to let you know this, that Miami hasn't won a national championship since 2001, right? So when FAU and FIU were created, they have not won a national title since these two schools have been around.
This is what happened.
So, I mean, could that be the issue? They're no longer the state of Miami because FIU is in actually Miami, not Coral Gables. If you look at Winsipedia, FIU is the last team, 131 out of 131. They started in 2002. They hit 5-6, then the 2-10, then the 3-7, got up to 5-6 again, then down to 0-12 in 2006. Enter Mario Cristobal in 2007. They went 1-11, 5-7, 3-9. They got to 7-6, 8-5, which was almost their high water mark before this season. And then Cristobal had a bad season, 3-9 in 2012. Hey,
and then they fucking fired Mario Cristobal.
They fired him after a rough 2012.
And you know who did they bring in to fix the program?
Ron
Turner.
Ron Turner. He turned it around and went from 3-9 to 1-11.
First goddamn program.
1-11. Then Ron Turner got to 4-8, 5-7, 4-8, and then they let go Mr. Ron Turner. Bye, Ron Turner. Guess who they brought in 2017? Your boy, Butch Davis.
Christ.
Butch Davis. Just basically, I love his career. It's ridiculous. His first head coaching job was with Miami, the Hurricanes, 95 to 2000, and he left the year before they won their last national title in 2001 with Larry Coker. He left Miami to go be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns.
Fucking hell.
As you do.
As you do. Let's leave Miami and go to Cleveland. Come on, man. He coached.
Now, for our younger listeners, there was a belief back in the day that you could not get the paycheck in college.
Yeah.
That you had to go to the NFL to get a paycheck. That was before we started throwing like Jimbo Fisher stupid money at people.
Yes, definitely. The money took off after, I would say, maybe 2007-ish. Like Saban. Once they got Saban back from the NFL, the money in college kind of flipped at that point. Butch Davis's career here, so he takes a break after he gets fired from the Browns in 2004. And he returns as North Carolina head coach from 2007 to 2010. He gets let go from North Carolina. Done. Doesn't do anything for about 7 years. Just chilling, probably on the ACC network from what I remember, I believe. There was some academic misconduct.
Yeah, let's not talk about what happened when he was at North Carolina.
Yeah, we could just let that go.
I mean, also, he got himself replaced by Larry Fedora.
Right.
Like, come on.
Who got himself replaced by Mac Brown? This is...
Right.
Mac Brown here.
Mac Brown.
Hey, I'd love to take your job there.
Love to take your job. Larry Fedora.
Hey, Larry.
Hey, Larry. I know you were the head coach of the Breakers for 1 year, but no longer the New Orleans Breakers head coach after 1 year.
Do that.
Yeah, I don't know
how many Larrys are tangentially related to Butch Davis? Because we're at Larry Coker and Larry Fedora.
Larry Coker, Larry Fedora.
It's got to be a bunch.
Who replaced him as Cleveland Browns head coach? Was it a Larry? Who knows?
Well, you keep talking. I'll look at.
No,
I'm just trying to figure out what happened to Larry Fedora.
He was the Breakers head coach last year, but I feel like he's probably with Nick Saban or something, and a coach's thing that they can't coach good.
He was in Croatia in June. He's living the life.
Okay,
good for him.
Croatia.
Good for you.
7 years out the game. FIU's looking for a new head coach after their Ron Turner disaster. Let's turn to Butch Davis. He knows Miami. He was the coach here 17 years ago.
Yeah.
Let's turn to Butch. So Butch, first year, Butch Davis, they go 8-5. Great team. 8-5. That's with Mr. Magoo. Or, is that what his name is?
Mr. Magoo.
Mr. Magoo. They 8-5, ended on a little bit of a sour note there. They lost their bowl game, the Gasparilla Bowl, against Temple. They lost 28-3 to Temple. Finished 8-5. That's his first season. That's a great season. The next year, the best season of all time in FIU history is the 2018 season. They finished 9-4, nearly got to 10 wins.
This season is about like the most FIU what we can expect is a high watermark for that team.
Yeah,
like that's it. You lose to Miami, you lose to Indiana, you lose to FAU, and you lose to someone random in your conference, Marshall.
No, I want to talk about the first game. So they lost to Indiana, right? They lost 38-28 to Indiana, right? But Indiana came to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
No, FIU actually manages to pull that off shockingly frequently.
Yeah.
Pitt played at FIU at one point during my undergraduate career. It's because they're in Miami. You can use it as an excuse for a recruiting trip.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's what, teams used to do that when they would play Tulane. They used New Orleans as a recruiting trip. They would do that. So they lost their first game to Indiana. They bounced back, went up to Norfolk, Virginia on BN Network.
I'm sorry, what?
Norfolk.
Say that again.
Norfolk, Virginia.
Is BN the one owned by the Saudis or Qatar?
I think it's the Saudis. No, I don't know.
They own one of those. Yeah.
No, it's Qatar. Qatar.
Okay, there.
Hey, again, we're talking about Qatar. Cater, Texas.
That's what we're going with. Cater.
So they lose that one. Then they go to Norfolk, Virginia, to play ODU, who was still in Conference USA at the time. They get a win. They're 28-20. Nice comeback win there. Down at halftime, 20-14. They drop 14 in the third quarter. Get the big victory. They head back home to Miami. They welcome UMass, and they put an ass whipping on UMass.
Sweet Jesus.
63-24.
Don't want to do that, guys.
They just take it to them. UMass was not ready. At halftime, it was 42-10. FIU.
Oh.
Woo.
Yeah, I mean, this was a 4-8 UMass for context.
That's
above their expected win rate for next year.
Yeah, again, for UMass, again 4-8. That reminds me.
Oh, that was the year that UMass took to triple overtime and won.
Yeah,
Never mind.
Right,
UMass.
I was a good UMass. You tell me about that.
Spicy UMass.
So
listen, UMass only has so many points to spend, and I would say they spent it in exactly the right place.
Yeah, they beat UConn that year too. So
their next game was at Miami, Hard Rock Stadium. They lost to Miami 31-17. Now in that game they were down 31-0, but they threw 17 points up in the fourth quarter to make it interesting at the end, to make it 31-17. Now, in my head,
okay, go ahead. You're going to say the same thing.
In my head, this was the game that FIU beat Florida, where the kicker did the downward U and
it wasn't that. It was
the throat slash.
It's when after an extra point.
Yes.
His name was Jose Borregales.
Yes.
I remember.
He transferred to Miami actually the next year.
Yeah.
In 2019, that's when FIU beat Miami at Marlins Park. Yeah. And on an extra point, Miami was down so bad emotionally that they had the fucking FIU kicker throat slashing and getting called for unsportsmanlike.
Yes.
Fucking do it.
Kickers really are people too.
I wish that was in my head. That game was this year.
Yeah, it was. I looked it up.
I had looked it up and it was not, but I'm going to consider this part of this year. So we're going to say it's part of this year, even though it wasn't. So
and possibly every year.
Every year, perfect. Then they go to Arkansas Pine Bluff. They beat Pine Bluff 55-9. The next week, they go stay at home and they play Middle Tennessee for their homecoming game on BN Network again. 24-21. They beat Middle Tennessee. They score 11 unanswered in the fourth quarter to beat the Blue Raiders. Then again, 3 games in a row at home in Ricardo Silva Stadium.
I'm gonna call it 5 games in a row at home because one of those was away at Miami. That's close enough.
Close enough. Miami Gardens, Miami. Close enough. Whatever. So then they play Rice, and they take it to Rice 36-17. Really relatively close at halftime, but then they just pull away. The next game at Western Kentucky.
Our second time in 7 games when we were leaving the greater Miami area.
That's right. They've been to Norfolk. No, I'm sorry. I'm just playing. Norfolk. The Erster Bowl. No, but no. They go to Bowling Green. They play Western Kentucky. They beat them 38-17. just take the lead from the beginning and just don't look back. They play the Shula Bowl back home. The FAU Owls, coached by Lane Kiffin, they do get some vengeance here.
Holy shit.
Yeah. They beat
got...
them. They beat them 49-14 in the Shula Bowl, which is weird. This was Lane Kiffin's second season at FAU. He finished 5-7, but he won that game 49-14. And that was on Stadium.
I remember Stadium.
Yeah, it's still
It's
here,
still a
right?
thing.
I think so.
Mhm.
Then
they're owned by Sinclair. That sucks.
Ooh.
Then they go to travel to San Antonio to face the UTSA Roadrunners. This was probably their biggest win of the year. They go on the road to the Alamo Dome, and oh boy, did they blow out the Roadrunners. 45-7. Just
no one asked how UTSA was before the last 3 years.
I think that was the last year of Frank Wilson. And
It was.
it was. No, he had one more year after that. So it was not going well for Frank Wilson at UTSA after FIU put it on them.
Looney Tunes never shows you the ones where the coyote wins.
No, they don't.
They head on up to Charlotte to Jerry Richardson Stadium, and they take out the Niners 42-35. Back home.
Remember, this was Charlotte's bugbear. We found out.
Yeah.
This was their team they couldn't beat.
Yep. So they go on the road, and they're battling for a chance to essentially maybe win the East Division of the Conference USA football standings. They have to play Marshall. They're playing Marshall in Miami. Marshall gets out to a lead, 14-3 after one. FIU cuts it to 14-10 at halftime. Marshall takes another lead. After the half, it's 21-10. FIU fights back, makes it 28-25, but just falls short at the end. And they wind up finishing second in the East to a team that they beat on homecoming, to Middle Tennessee.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they had a shot to win Conference USA, and losing that game to Marshall on Stadium, it really put them behind. They had to settle for a bowl bid, but honestly, if you get this bowl game, you are a champion.
We're back to my favorite thing in the world is we had our best season, and where do we get to go? The fucking Bahamas.
That's
Bahamas.
right.
Hell yeah.
That is correct. Their bowl bid, the Bahamas Bowl, 2019. Is it the good? It's still the Makers
No,
Wanted.
it's Makers
Bahamas.
Wanted.
No,
Sponsored by Elk Grove Village.
Yes. Is this the one sponsored by
It's
Elk
so
Grove?
beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Bahamas, sponsored by Illinois.
Mhm.
Elk Grove Village, Illinois, for
Oh,
1 year, like a business park.
2 years.
2
because
years.
we covered both of them the last 2 episodes.
apparently.
Because this podcast is a fucking flat circle.
Just
All roads lead to the Bahamas
Oh.
Bowl, sponsored by Elk Grove Village.
See, the problem is that I'm going to be looking for housing here fairly soon, and now I have to go into some stupid HOA so that I can become the HOA president so we can sponsor the Bahamas Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Sponsored by El Dorado Circuit 3.
well,
No. This is why we get a bunch of Saudi investment money. We found the town of Shreveport, Pennsylvania.
that's right.
Perfect.
And then Shreveport, Pennsylvania sponsors the Bahamas Bowl.
Yeah,
Sponsors the
and it's
Bahamas
going to be brought to you by Shreveport, Pennsylvania.
Shreveport, Pennsylvania.
The sketchy people wanted Shreveport Bowl. Bahamas. The sketchy people wanted Shreveport Bahamas Bowl. There we go. Done.
Shreveport Bowl of the Bahamas.
Oh yes, that sounds like an AI Chat GPT mashup. This, by the way, this Bahamas Bowl was really good. I remember watching this one.
This was a really good game. It was a back and
great
forth game. It was a fantastic game. Toledo takes an early lead in the Bahamas, 10-0 after the first quarter, and then FIU roars back to take a 14-10 lead at halftime. Toledo comes out firing in the third quarter. They take the lead back immediately on the opening drive, 17-14. Then, bam, FIU back in the lead, 21-17. Fourth quarter, FIU extends the lead to 28-17. Then Toledo back into it. It's 28-25. With 41 seconds remaining, FIU seemingly puts this game away, 35-25. But apparently, Toledo wasn't dead yet. There was 2 or 3 seconds left. They get a touchdown. It's 35-32. Toledo tries an onside kick. It does not get recovered, unfortunately. And, hey, the Panthers win.
That wasn't their first bowl game win ever. That was their second or third.
Mario Cristobal.
Who's that guy?
I don't know. No idea.
Some
Maybe the
guy.
coach of the Miami guy. I don't know. He sounds familiar.
I mean, he was the Miami coach back then too, if you ask
He
me.
was technically. No, their first ever bowl game win was the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl, and they beat Toledo in 2010. And then their
Funny
only
how
2
these
bowl
things work.
game wins
What?
was Toledo.
Oh, no, the Rockets are cursed.
Wait, hold on. 2010, they beat Toledo 34-32. 2018, they beat Toledo 35-32. That's so damn close.
Time is a flat circle.
That's incredible.
Linear time was a mistake.
Circular time, however, we are all about.
Circular
Oh, yeah.
time for Toledo. So they go on, and FIU's been on a great path since then, right? Butch Davis went 6-7, and then COVID hit, and the program allegedly was fighting against Butch Davis, and they fired him, and
But they got Mike McIntyre.
put the job posting up in 2021 in the middle of the season. Because
And everything was fine forever.
everything was
not
fine forever. There were 4
Allegedly
last year.
using used Mississippi State gear.
That wasn't allegedly.
Allegedly.
That wasn't allegedly. That was confirmed. I do want to shout out some of their stat leaders. Some great names in here also. In rushing, Napoleon Maxwell going for 128 attempts for about 700 yards in the season. He was their top rusher. Devontae Price also 571 yards, was a beast for that group. For passing, their quarterback James Morgan went about 65% that year, threw for about 2,700 yards. Not like the worst. It was fine.
Yeah.
Their receiving core did spread things out. CJ Wharton, 627 yards. Austin Maloney, 610. This was just a group of dudes that did good things. And I think that's, when we're not going back 400 years to Vanderbilt's 1903 squad that got tetanus and lost half of them, that, that's what you look for in these kinds of teams. You want a group of dudes that do something fun. And this was a fun team.
Oh, yeah.
We hope that FIU is another team that I always want to be fun because I like watching their games.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it does look like they are being shot from 4 handy cams that were bought 10 years apart.
I mean,
One of those looks like it was bought with those fucking shoulder cams.
That was awesome for me to see them in person in Las Cruces. So to
even
see
though they won against your beloved
in New Mexico State. I mean, I go for the game. I just I don't want to hope to curse the home team, but
The Chili's were the real winner that weekend.
Oh,
We all
the
know
red
that.
and green chilies were the real winner in my taste buds. But
Well, folks, that's all we got for tonight. Hope everyone had a good 4th of July weekend, things like that. And we will see you on the other side.